Welcome back. Let's take a look at the second part of this example. We're looking to solve for x when f of x equals 4. So just to remind you what that notation means, remember that y is the same thing as f of x. And so when you're trying to understand solving, if we are given f of x equals 4, we are asked to find what is the x value when y is equal to 4. In other words, if you want to take this in ordered pair form, we actually know the y value, and we want to figure out what this x value is. So let's take a look again. We're looking at the function in table form. And so if we're trying to understand what happens when y is equal to 4, I'm going to look at my f of x table, or my column. And this is given us when f of x is 4. So when y is 4, we end up having a corresponding x value. X is equal to -2. So that answers that part of the problem for us. We will do the same thing for our graph. And I find with graphs, I really like to notate for myself exactly where the x-axis is. So you're going to see me kind of color it in darker. And where the y-axis is. This helps me out a great deal. So we're doing the same questioning. We're asking ourselves, when y equals 4, what is x equal to? So this would lead me to maybe kind of eye where the y-axis is and find out what happens when y is equal to 4. So I kind of have to use my function to help me determine this. I will map over to where I see my function and then map down to the x-axis. So in this case, the ordered pair I have when y equals 4, I actually have x is equal to 2. So that answers that part. Now for the formula or the equation part, this is when we're asking ourselves, well, if f of x equals 4, that means we're going to have to replace the f of x with the actual number 4. So let me see if I can, I'm going to move over just a little bit to the side. So I'm replacing f of x with 4. I'll try to highlight it to help you. And I really want to solve the resulting equation. So I have 4 equals x squared minus 5. So when y is 4, what happens to the x? What is it? So if you notice, this is a quadratic equation. And it looks like it's missing a linear term. So we have a choice whether we want to bring everything to one side to see if it factors. Or we could use the square root property. That's another possibility. But let's try to factor first. It's not a bad review for us. So I'm going to move the 4 over. If I subtract 4 from both sides, I will get 0 equals x squared minus 9. So remember, -5 minus 4 is a -9. And that's a very nice binomial there. That is a difference of squares. Nice perfect square. So I'll factor that further. X squared minus 9 factors down to x plus 3, x minus 3. And right away, we use the 0 factor property to set each of those linear factors equal to 0. See if I can write that just a little bit nicer for you. It's x minus 3 equals 0, which gives us two solutions for x. We have x equals -3, or x equals positive 3. So when y equals 4, for this particular function, we have two values, x equals negative 3 or x equals positive 3. So I hope this helps. Maybe you want to try the homework to see if you can kind of note this down a little bit more. I do realize that there's a lot of different ways to look at the functions, but the better you are at them, the more flexible you are, the better off you will be.